As to that, when then Vice President Nixon and Senator John F. Kennedy took the stage for their first presidential debate 48 years ago tonight, had Mr. Nixon pretended to suspend his campaign in the midst of a financial crisis? Had Mr. Nixon squandered congressional efforts to reach compromise on an economic bailout merely because he had not been seen to be participating in the agreement? Had Mr. Nixon threatened to cancel before departing for Chicago in a, quote, general atmosphere of utter confusion? Our fifth story in the countdown, no, unlike Senator John McCain, all that Mr. Nixon had going against him that night was a flu-driven, pasty complexion and a 5 o'clock shadow. By the time Senator McCain deigned to inform the country today that he would indeed be showing up at Ole Miss tonight, his opponent, Senator Obama, already at the airport waiting to take off for Memphis. Does that mean the Republicans' threshold for attending the debate has been reached? Is there, in fact, a bailout agreement? Of course not. Senator McCain merely moving that goalpost, announcing that because of significant progress, the debate is back on. And it appears Senator McCain has already won. Before the first question was even uttered, before Senator McCain stopped hinting he might not show up, an ad appearing on the WallStreetJournal.com this morning declaring McCain wins debate. Not that there should have been any doubt Senator McCain would be in attendance. He knew it last night. Politico.com reporting that after last night's disastrous meeting at the White House, a meeting that McCain requested, the senator got in a few hours of debate prep. In a statement, the McCain campaign with the gall to blame the Democrat for yesterday's debacle at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. The difference between Barack Obama and John McCain was apparent during the White House meeting yesterday, where Barack Obama's priority was political posturing. In his opening monologue, defending the package as it stands, John McCain listened to all sides so he could help focus the debate on finding a bipartisan resolution that is in the interest of taxpayers and homeowners. That, however, not how it went down, according to an aide to Minority Leader John Boehner. The aide, Kevin Smith, telling the New York Times that, as the paper reports, Republicans revolted in part because they were chafing at what they saw as an attempt by Democrats to jam through an agreement on the bailout early Thursday and denied Mr. McCain an opportunity to participate in the agreement. Senator McCain apparently also with time in his schedule today for the interests of lobbyists. Joining him on the plane to Memphis and thence to Oxford, former New York Mayor Giuliani, a top McCain surrogate. The New York Daily News reporting that Mayor Giuliani's law firm has set up a task force with the mission of helping its corporate clients get a piece of the bailout action, or at least keep federal regulators from their door. This morning on the plane to Memphis, Senator Obama putting his role in the bailout negotiations and in tonight's debate into context.
At this point, my strong sense is that the best thing that I can do, rather than to inject presidential politics into some delicate negotiations, is to go down to Mississippi and explain to the American people what is going on and my vision for leading the country over the next 4 years.
Time now to call in our own Richard Wolff, also, of course, the senior White House correspondent for Newsweek magazine, who is joining us now from the site of the debate in Oxford, Mississippi. Richard, good evening.
Good evening, Keith.
So why are you even there? I mean, I was reading the WallStreetJournal.com this morning, and apparently McCain already won the debate. Why aren't you home or on your way home to see your kids?
My kids would dearly love to know the answer to that and many other questions. Look, there is a problem about debates, which is, you might call it premature celebration. 4 years ago, in the second debate, Bush's aides, if you remember, he'd had a terrible first debate. The second debate, they were so keen to show that he had won the second debate that after about 20 minutes, his aides came into the press room and started high-fiving. There is a problem with the spin surrounding these debates, whether it's about an ad or fundraising or just the cold hard PR game that goes on, which is that we've seen it all before, and these lines are so well rehearsed that they're not believable for either side. They got caught here. There's a question of timing.
Yes, but with a rare exception to that rule, there is an authenticity to this debate and the yapping before it because of all of the changes in the standard process that Mr. McCain brought to it this week. We have a debate, yet we do not have a bailout deal. Does that lead to the conclusion that Senator McCain blinked? Did he lose a game of chicken that he was basically playing by himself?
Yeah, the problem is when you are gambling and taking risks, as McCain has done, you make a big bet and you can lose a lot. And he has lost multiple points over the last 48, 72 hours. First of all, it's one thing to say, I'm going to rush back to Washington and deal with this problem. That's fine in and of itself. But to suspend the campaign, try and postpone the debate, and then lay out a condition for returning to the debate, which is that there had to be a hard and fast deal there. There you sort of multiply the gamble. And at each of those points, the deal, the postponing of the debate, the conditions for returning to the debate, McCain has not met his own definition of the rules here. So not only is there a sort of flip-flop that you might describe it as, but it's the risk-taking element to it. And if you look at what the Poole report coming out of the McCain press corps was, they called it, as they boarded the plane, a scene of general and utter confusion, and that's what it's felt like.
And one more practical aspect to that, foreign policy, which was the stated topic of this debate, is arguably, certainly the senator thinks it is, Senator McCain's strongest topic. Obviously, time that would have been spent debating that tonight is going to be siphoned off for questions on the economy. Instead, that would have happened anyway. But you have to argue that more questions will be asked about the economy after what Senator McCain did, this entirety of the White House meeting and the whole dog and pony show in Washington. Am I misreading this, or did Senator McCain manage to decrease the number of questions he would otherwise welcome and increase the number he might be struggling with?
I think they would still be talking about the economy. There is no way for Jim Lehrer. He told, as moderator, he's told these campaigns that there will be a section on the economy. But what he's done is focus those questions, or at least some of them, on his own role, as opposed to being a sort of explanatory and expressing concern and a general set of principles. Some of these questions are going to be directed towards McCain's involvement. Did he help, or did he hinder this bailout negotiation? And that's a problem for him, just dealing with that.
Is there anybody, by the way, suggesting there in all seriousness that he helped?
McCain is saying that he was very bipartisan, but this deal is still to be done, so let's see if he can pull people together.
Richard Wolff of MSNBC and Newsweek, as always, great thanks, and we'll talk to you after the debate is over.